Jesus is teaching in the temple, and the chief priests and the elders of the people interrupt his teaching with a question. By what authority are you doing these things? And who gave you this authority? This isn't a type of question that Jesus really addresses in his ministry. He's not all that interested in touting his own authority or saying, this is where this comes from. This is why it's valid. He instead is more focused on what it means to follow God and to care for neighbor and issues of justice and so on and so forth. So I don't think it's a question that he's inclined to answer if it was simply wondering. But of course, this question isn't a simple wondering. It is an agendaed question that the chief priests and elders are asking to get Jesus. No matter how he answers, they're going to find fault with the answer. And Jesus illustrates their lack of really wanting to engage with his own question that they interpret as just as problematic. I mean, they could probably have a good conversation about did the baptism of John come from heaven or was it of human origin, but it's not really an important question as far as its substance. But the leaders look at it as a gotcha question. They say, well, no matter how we answer it, Jesus is going to convict us or the people are going to get mad at us. So let's answer that we don't know. And that way it'll keep us safe. Now, this is the way the authority game works, not just back then, but now. There's no real discussion looking for growth and potential change. Rather, there is a soliloquy of saying, this is why I'm right, and there's no arguing with me. How are we supposed to grow? How are we supposed to care for one another? How are we to be focused on what it means to be neighbor and loving neighbor as self, which is designed both to care for ourselves and also care for everyone else? The parable that follows illustrates the quandary. The son says, no, I won't go. No, I won't change. No, I won't allow you to shake my sense of security. But then he thinks better of it, and he goes. The other says what he thinks his father wants to hear. I go, sir, but then does not. I mean, it's clear which one does the will, but I hope what's even more clear is that the willingness to change and to consider and to be wrong and then go forward is what makes the first son in right relationship with God. I hope, I pray that we can step back from the needing to be right and instead asking the question, how do I serve God and neighbor as myself? How am I willing to risk what I have for the sake of what it means for all of us to be fully engaged as children of God?